What's up, everyone? Welcome back to JjLee Hockey Show. This is JjLee, and we obviously have a huge topic to talk about today as Alex Ovechkin broke the all-time goals record yesterday for the NHL. And today's episode is going to be very different, or not very different, but different from most of the others. It's just going to be about Ovi, nothing else, no other news going on. Just we're going to focus on Ovi, the milestone he's accomplished, and just the overall looking back at his career, his road to that point. So, let's get into it. Obviously, yesterday, he broke the all-time goals record with goal number 895 against the Islanders. The celebration was amazing. First off, the shot was amazing. Classic Ovechkin from his office on the power play. And the shot it was just a snipe. It was amazing. The celebration too, the dive that he did, just sliding down the ice, looked kind of, we've seen him do something like that before, like when he scored his first hat trick all those years ago. Also it looked kind of like when he dived into the fountain after the Stanley Cup. So maybe he was trying to replicate that. Maybe it was just the celebration he wanted to do there. But I thought it was sick. There's a lot of great pictures from that, or there's a lot of great pictures from the entire day and stuff, but especially from that celebration that are going to be iconic. Just I'm looking forward to seeing how much these pictures sell for, because obviously they're going to be these pictures will be sold and stuff. I'm not even gonna say he's likely. He'll definitely autograph some of them, and those are going to be go for an insane price. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how expensive these pictures are and how much people are going to be willing to pay for them, because a lot of money, but they're pretty epic. They're pretty iconic, and they're going to go down in history too. The goal was assisted by Tom Wilson, Dylan Strome, and that's obviously got to be an amazing memory for them. The fact that they were part of that specific goal right there. You think about it too. Dylan Strome signed with Washington in 2022. Imagine telling him 3 years ago that he was going to come to Washington and not just be a part, be on the team for this, but get one of the assists on the record-breaking goal. He probably wouldn't have believed it and stuff. That's got to be surreal for him. And then Tom Wilson, obviously, been with the Caps for a long time, but he was drafted in 2012. Obviously, that was 7 years after Ovi debuted. So watching Ovi, I'm sure earlier, and watching Ovi during his early career when Wilson was just kind of growing up and stuff, I'm sure watching him, he probably would never have guessed that he would get the assist first off, he probably would never have guessed that Ovi was going to break Wayne Gretzky's goal record, because no one really thought much of it at the time. And then the fact that he'd get the assist on it, it just, I can't imagine what it's like. I mean, of course, it's amazing for Ovi, but I can't imagine what it's like having been a part of this for the rest of the players. If you told them however many years ago that they'd be a part of this team or a part of the goal, even that, they obviously they probably never would believe you. So the fact that they got to witness this firsthand like that is amazing. We also saw a lot of celebrities congratulating him. First off, we saw a lot of hockey players like Mark Messier, Sidney Crosby, Jeremy Roenick, Martin Brodeur, Sergei Fedorov, PK Subban, just to name a few. But we also saw a lot of athletes from other sports, and even some other actors or singers or whatever. We saw Michael Phelps, Simone Biles, Derek Jeter, Snoop Dogg, Michael Jordan. Who else? Ryan Zimmerman, Hillary Knight, Danny DeVito, LeBron James. So many legends from not just hockey or not just even sports, but it's all over recognizing greatness, because this was not an accomplishment just for hockey. This was a historic moment for sports in general. This is going to go down in the history books for sports history. This is such an incredible accomplishment. I still cannot believe it's happened, honestly, because it's just been so many years leading up to it. You think back about 10 years ago, there were slightly people who started thinking about there were some people who started thinking about it, but no one really thought much of it, because it was still it's been almost 10 years since he hit or it's been 9 years, I believe, since I think 2016 was when he hit 500 goals. It's been 8 to 9 years basically since he scored 500. So 10 years ago, didn't even have 500 yet, scoring at a great pace, but no one knew how he was going to age and everything. So no one thought much of it. Scores 500, still pretty much the same. He could potentially break the record, but no one really thought it was likely to happen. Then in 20, or let me see where I write this down at. Yeah, in 2016, Ovi was asked if he thought maybe he could break the record and stuff, and even he said, "quote I don't think somebody will break the record. It's impossible." Like even Ovi said, like, yeah, there's no way anyone's not just with him, but like he thought there was no way anyone would break the record ever, and now he just proved himself wrong. So yeah, just great quote to look back at. You never know. I mean, of course, I'm sure even as he got closer, he would have been like, he was trying, I'm sure he was being humble. Like in 2019, he was like, I'll try. Like he didn't want to, especially too soon. He didn't want to go like, oh yeah, I'm definitely breaking it or anything. But it's just incredible how even he thought for sure that no one was ever breaking the record. And sure enough, here we are with him getting it. Looking at his last 5 games, what he's done, he scored goal number 890 against the Buffalo Sabres on March 30th. Then goal number 891 against the Boston Bruins on April 1st. Goal number 892 against the Carolina Hurricanes on April 2nd, and then had 2 goals against Chicago on April 4th. Goal number 893 and 894. So that was where he tied the record. And then yesterday, obviously, record-breaking goal against the New York Islanders on April 6th, and goal number 895. I was at the game against Chicago when he tied the record, and it was so electric. Like I don't think I've ever seen, except for maybe the Stanley Cup final game, like in 2018. I don't think I've ever seen the arena so electric, like so energized before. It was, you could just feel the energy because everyone was just there's so much anticipation going on. And then when he scored the record tying goal, I will admit, it was obviously still a big deal, but I was not expecting like the celebration that they had for the record tying goal. Like for them to usually they don't do all that until the record's actually broken, but since it's obviously the goal record, like I was not expecting the entire team to come out on the ice for the celebration, and for the whole standing ovation and everything for the entire Blackhawks team to do the handshake line for him. I knew that was gonna happen for sure once he broke the record, but tying it, I wasn't really expecting, although I probably should have expected it because, like I said, it's the goal record. They're going to really celebrate that. But yeah, that's just an experience I'm not going to forget anytime soon because I still can't believe like how exciting that was, because like then after he tied it, everyone was hoping he'd break it and stuff. So everyone had their phones out ready. Everyone was like going crazy whenever he was on the ice. I could literally feel my heart racing. It was intense. Of course, unfortunately didn't break it there, but still it was still great to see him tie it and stuff in front of the home fans. And you could, like I said, you could just feel the energy in the arena. People were pumped for it. Then yesterday, obviously it happened in New York, so a lot of Caps fans were there, which is great to see. But a lot of Caps fans, obviously, obviously there weren't as many Caps fans there as if it was at home. So a lot of people watching it from TV, and even from TV, you could just feel the energy, because every time he was on the ice, the announcers would point it out. You could hear the crowd going. And then they went on the first period. had a few chances. Not much really happened though. Or like we knew there was, everyone was hope every time he had a chance, every time he touched the puck, people were like, okay, is it happening here? And of course, didn't get it first period. We go into second period. Caps are scoreless on the game. Get a power play, and that. This is what I was thinking. I'm sure a lot of people were thinking the same thing. They go on the power play. I'm just like, oh, is this it? Like, is this where it's going to be? Is this where it's going to happen? And then he scores, I can't remember. I think he might have had a chance before that, or maybe he like almost got a shot off before that and didn't happen. And then they come back up the ice, bring the puck back, and they bring the puck back into the zone and everything. It was Strome to Wilson and then to Ovi, one-timer, and it just happened so quick too. Like in the blink of an eye, I was just watching. I was like, I just kind of see them seeing it over to Ovi, and next thing I know, in the back of the net, and he's diving down the ice. Whole team's coming out. It was just such an incredible moment. I'm sorry, everything just happened so fast. I'm trying to remember all the little details like of how the play develops because I've seen like the shot replays, those replays of like the shot and stuff, but most of those are like focused on Ovi, so I can't remember how the entire play developed because once it went in, I didn't really care about how it all developed. I was just so excited. And so the entire team comes out. Eventually, Wayne Gretzky makes his way on the ice. Gary Bettman makes his way on the ice, and the celebration was like a Stanley Cup celebration. The entire team getting T-shirts, hats, and the family coming out. It was great to see too how Wayne Gretzky's wife got Ovechkin's wife something because Gordie Howe's wife got Gretzky's wife I think it was a necklace. So just seeing the traditions go on, not just with the players, but also like for the players' wives and just the whole traditional aspect of the hockey culture in general, the hockey community has been so great to see. And everyone, like the Islanders fans were so excited to see this. Like it just shows how much, regardless of what team you've played for or what team you root for or, what players you like or whatever, everyone's come together to really appreciate the game and show and like cherish this moment of history. Eventually they get back into the game, and after I believe the ceremony itself was like 7 minutes because they unfortunately had to limit it. But I believe it was like 20 minutes from the time the goal was scored to when the time to when the play actually restarted. And I'm not gonna lie, I had trouble really even focusing back on the game because I was just so excited from that. So I can't imagine how players felt. Like you celebrate all that, it's so exciting and stuff, and it's like, oh, by the way, we still do have a game to finish. So I honestly don't know how you were able to focus on a game after that. Caps did look a little out of it yesterday, and they've looked like that for a little while now. So I'm questioning, has this record been a bit of a distraction? Which hopefully, if it is, they'll get back together soon. But I really can't blame them too much if they had trouble focusing after the goal yesterday, because that was, even before the goal, there was just so much anticipation. You could just tell by from some of the pictures pregame, from all the warm-ups and everything, that everyone knew what was at stake, and it did not disappoint at all. The goal and the celebration. The locker room celebrations too were great to see videos of. Both when he tied it on Friday against Chicago, then when he broke it, both times they had the beer celebration. Some amazing pictures from that will also be legendary for sure. Seeing guys like Backstrom and Oshie, who unfortunately are probably done playing hockey, but still on the roster and are still decided to travel with the team to witness this. Gretzky obviously following Ovi. You had Ted Leonsis as the owner, Gary Bettman the commissioner, the entire Ovechkin family. just surreal. Next, I'm trying to think what else I wanted to talk about here. And I don't think I ever like finished because I'm now looking at like his pathway to 895. I don't think I ever finished like talking about when I was talking about when people started to kind of get a feeling he could break the record. I don't think I ever really finished talking about that because I kind of got distracted at 500 when he said that he didn't think anyone was going to break it. So basically, about 10 years ago, before he got 500, people were starting to speculate maybe he could break it, but no one really thought much of it because it didn't look very likely at the time because, I mean, he was still like, almost like 500 away. And then we scored for 500, or wait, less than 500. He was over 400 away. Then we scored 500. He now had less than 400 to go, but we really didn't know how he was going to age at the time. So it's still, a lot of people were in doubt. Some people started to speculate, but most people still didn't think it was going to happen. Then in 2018, he gets 600. And this is where speculation really starts to heat up a little more. 600 now, 20th player I'm pretty sure he ever gets 600, but still, he's 32 years old at the time, and everyone's like, he might break it, but it's gonna be very hard. Has to continue scoring at an elite pace throughout his 30s, which is gonna be very hard to do. So speculation's heating up now, but a lot of people still lean towards the no, he's not gonna get it. And then in 2020, he scores 700, and this is where people are starting to really start to believe that he might break it, because 700 now, 34 years old, but still scoring at a high pace, has less than 200 to go. And now he had 48 goals that year, but remember that year was cut short due to COVID. So he would have had 50 goals as a 34-year-old at the time. So that's where people are starting to speculate or starting to believe, okay, he could actually break the record. He's getting older, but he's still scoring at an elite rate. He's less than 200 away now. He might actually break it. But then he loses time from COVID because that season was cut short. The following season was cut short to 56 games. And then even then, he still had he was injured for a good amount that year in 2020, 2021, and also did have a down year. He had 24 goals that year, which was his first time ever not having 30 goals. Once again, he lost like half a season from that, but from both COVID and injury. But even his pace was like 44 goals, which is still great, but a lot of people were kind of questioning, okay, he looks like he's starting to slow down a little bit, or it looks like his scoring numbers are going down a little bit, so we'll see what happens from here. But then in 2021-22, 50 goals, 36 years old, and has one of the greatest age 36 seasons ever by age 30. Has one of the greatest seasons ever by a 36 or older player. And this is where, once again, people are believing he could break the record, that he's showing no signs of slowing down, moved all the way up into third place all time in goals, passing Jaromir Jagr in March that year with his 767th. And this is where people are getting more and more belief. And then at the end of that calendar year in 2022, and now in the 2022-2023 season, though, he scores 800th goal in December, and then like 10 days later scores 802nd to pass Gordie Howe for second all time. And by this point, everyone was pretty sure that he was going to break the record. I mean, less than 100 to go, and by this point, he's gotten so close that everyone kind of knew he wasn't going to retire until he broke it. There were some concerns last year when he had a down year again, because he was 38 years old by that point, and people are like, okay, he might actually be regressing now. We'll see if he gets it. But a lot of people are saying, even if he's regressing, he's not going to retire until he breaks it, at least. So I think most people still had faith last year that he would break it. And then this year comes back, shows that, last year he had the second half of the season, he was really good. It's just the first half, he was slower. So this season proves that that first half was just downtime for him. I mean, there's rumors that he was going through an injury at the time, which is pretty believable. So he proves that he still got it at 39 years old and starts scoring at a historic pace, gets injured, unfortunately, and people are questioning again, like, everyone knows by this point he's going to break it, but will he break it this year? Comes back quicker than expected, which is amazing. And then, what was I saying? Comes back quicker than expected and continues scoring at a great pace and finally breaks it right before the season ends. So, yeah, just so many years of build up to this and speculation, anticipation, people debating whether or not he'll break it or not. And it just feels so, it feels so unreal that it's actually happened. Like it's actually come. Because I still remember when I started watching hockey in like 2016. And then it was like, it was like 2018, I believe, when I really started looking at this. I was thinking, could he pass the record? And like I said, at that point, a lot of people were like, he might, but it's gonna be pretty hard. He's got to keep it up and stuff. So all these, most of my time watching hockey has been when this was a storyline for almost a decade now, when this was like a speculation topic. So the fact that it's actually come now, it's actually here. He's now the leading goal scorer in NHL history. Is so crazy to say. I still can't really believe it. At this point, it's been over 24 hours since he broke the record, but I'm still in disbelief sometimes that Ovechkin is now the leading goal scorer in NHL history. It's going to take a little while for that to sink in, because, it's been, Gretzky's held the record for 31 years. So the fact that Ovechkin's the leading goal scorer now, just saying that is going to take a little while to feel normal and to sink in, but it's great though. It's amazing. I'm going to take a break now, play a little music, and I'll come back to talk about the rest of this topic. I'll see you in a few minutes. All right, I'm back, and I'm just going to continue talking about more stats and milestones on the way to this record-breaking accomplishment for Ovechkin. So next, I'm just going to go through. I'm going to go through the goals, like how many goals he had every season, because that's obviously a huge deal when it comes to looking at his consistency, how he got to the record. Because obviously he's had some seasons where he had more goals than others, but as a whole, he's pretty much been consistent throughout his career. So in 2005, 2006, he had 52 goals. 2006, 2007, 46 goals. 2007, 2008, 65 goals, which is a career high for him. 2008, 2009, 56 goals. 2009, 2010, 50 goals. 2010, 2011, 32 goals. 2011, 2012, 38 goals. 2012, 2013, 32 goals. 2013, 2014, 51 goals. 2014, 2015, 53 goals. 2015, 2016, 50 goals. 2016, 2017, 30 goals. 2017, 2018, 49 goals. 2018, 2019, 51 goals. 2019, 2020, 48 goals. 2020, 2021, 24 goals. 2021, 2022, 50 goals. 2022, 2023, 42 goals. 2023, 2024, 31 goals. And this season, 2024, 2025, he has 42 goals so far. So, I mean, obviously some down years having, 30 something goals some year. Obviously 24 goals that 1 year, but the season was cut short due to COVID. And then obviously he's had 50 goals so many times and 60 goals that 1 year. So usually it's been 40 to 50 goals. But remember, the time that he played into, a lot of his prime was in a lower scoring era. So the fact that so getting 50 goals so many of those seasons was really incredible when you think about it, because he was the only player getting 50 goals in those years. Next, we got like the number of goals he has against each franchise, because he's pretty much traumatized every franchise, but for the most part. He has the most goals against. He has the most goals against Utah. I mean, not Utah. Atlanta/Winnipeg with 57. Then 52 goals against the Philadelphia Flyers. 52 against the Carolina Hurricanes. 51 against the Tampa Bay Lightning. 46 against the New York Rangers. 45 against the Toronto Maple Leafs. 45 against the Florida Panthers. 45 against the New York Islanders. 42 against the Buffalo Sabres. 42 against the New Jersey Devils. 42 against the Pittsburgh Penguins. 39 against the Montreal Canadiens. 38 against the Ottawa Senators. 30 against the Boston Bruins. 26 against the Columbus Blue Jackets. 25 against the Detroit Red Wings. 21 against the St. Louis Blues. 20 against the Minnesota Wild. 19 against the Nashville Predators. 18 against the Calgary Flames. 17 against the Chicago Blackhawks. 17 against the Edmonton Oilers. 17 against the San Jose Sharks. 16 against the Vancouver Canucks. 12 against the Anaheim Ducks. 12 against the Colorado Avalanche. 12 against the Dallas Stars. 12 against the LA Kings. 10 against the Arizona Coyotes. 8 against the Vegas Golden Knights. 5 against the Seattle Kraken, and 2 against the Utah Hockey Club. So he's pretty much tortured every franchise out there. There's not a franchise he's really. I mean, obviously, once he has less goals against other teams that he's played less in his career because of the conference they're in, but there really isn't a time where a team where they've not had to worry about Ovechkin scoring against them while he's been when the Caps play them. So, yeah, no team really found the answer for Ovi and his goal scoring, his shot, which has always just been such incredible. That's been hard for teams to figure out how to stop. Some of the accomplishments he's had, 19 30-goal seasons, which is an NHL record, 14 40-goal seasons, an NHL record, 9 50-goal seasons, which is a three-way tie for the NHL record. 242 first period goals, 292 second period goals, 334 third period goals, 27 overtime goals, an NHL record. 149 game opening goals, an NHL record. 150 game tying goals, an NHL record. 291 go ahead goals, NHL record. 136 game winning goals, NHL record. 65 empty net goals. 565 even strength goals. 325 power play goals, an NHL record. 5 shorthanded goals, 2 penalty shot goals. 439 goals at home and 456 goals on the road. So he's actually scored more on the road throughout his career, slightly, than at home. Then, he's had 680 career games with a goal, 179 multi-goal games, 32 hat tricks. There's only 2 teams he doesn't have a multi-goal game against, which is Colorado and Seattle. He has a hat trick against 20 different franchises. Scored 420 goals since his 30th birthday, which is key because I mentioned it's not just how great you are in your prime, but it's also how well you age. And he's aged so well. Like I believe he's had the most goals since age 30, or like after the age of 30 of any player in history. So it's not just when you talk about a player trying to break a record like this, it's not just how many goals he already has or how good he's been throughout his 20s or whatever, but when he gets into his 30s, how good will he still be? Will he still continue to score at consistent pace? Will he fall off a lot? That's the key thing, is the longevity as well as the talent. Ovi's led the league in goals in 18 of his 19 seasons of his career. And then he scored 19.5% of the all-time Caps goals since his debut in 2005. At least when he's in the lineup. Looking at how many goals he has by month. October 124, November 141, December 130, January 141, February 122, March 161, and April 76. Teams from all over the league are just congratulating him, which is amazing to see. Just the amount of class. I'm not sure if I mentioned this at the beginning, but Ilya Sorokin gave Ovi his stick, which is pretty cool because obviously Ovi has a stick collection, but usually usually it's the veteran giving or like the guy who was idolized giving the younger guy his stick and everything. But this case, it was the other way around. Sorokin gave Ovi the stick he used in that game, and I believe he said to Ovi he's going to give him his glove after the season, which is pretty cool. So now Ovi will have some of the equipment that the goalie he scored the record-breaking goal against used. Next, let me see. I've got all my notes here, but they're a little out of order because, like, I mean, there really is no like right way to order this stuff, like talk about this stuff. So I'm just trying to think what I want to say next. We saw just some of the like teammates and other athletes out there congratulating him. Like we saw, it said the most assists anyone has on OV goals is Nicholas Backstrom. No surprise, 279. Second is John Carlson, 158, and then third is Evgeny Kuznetsov, 110. Like none of those are surprising. Longtime teammates of Ovechkin, and we knew that they'd be up there for sure. And then talking about like people congratulating him, you got Wayne Gretzky himself, the guy whose record got passed, and he's been so humble about it, traveling with the Caps the entire past week while Ovi was getting close to the record, and just being so humble, rooting Ovechkin on to break the record, like saying he believes records are meant to be broken. It was a good story too because Gretzky said that when he broke Gordie Howe's record, he felt bad about it, or like he felt embarrassed about it because he's like, I'm breaking Gordie Howe's record. He's the greatest player ever, or like at least in Gretzky's opinion. And Gretzky's dad told him that if like Gordie Howe wants to break his record, but when when someone's about to break your record, you make sure you show them the same support that he's shown you, and that you're happy for him and everything. And Gretzky was kind of like, okay, like he didn't see who's going to score more goals than, I mean, like Gretzky had almost 900 goals. He wasn't sure who was going to get almost 900 goals again and everything. But yeah, here we are. And it's just been great to see how Gretzky's, cheered Ovechkin on. And now that he's broken it, he celebrated with him. And like Gretzky said, it felt like he scored the goal, which was, you can't get more humble and more happy for someone than that. Gretzky had the record for 31 years. Howe had the record for 31 years. So we'll see we'll see if anyone ever breaks Ovi's record. It's going to be hard for sure. I'm not going to say it'll never happen because everyone said the same thing about Gretzky's record, and sure enough, here we are. But it definitely will be hard. Another cool stat: Gretzky had 894 goals, and so his entire career was 1,481 in 87 games, and then Ovechkin has 895 goals and same number of games, 1,487. So the fact that he's matched, the thing is, he's like basically has a similar like number of goals per game as Gretzky, but the thing is, Gretzky's, what was it? Oh, jeez, I lost my train of thought again. Gretzky scored a lot more in his 20s, but then started to kind of go down throughout his 30s. Ovi has just been so consistent. Like he's scored, like his scoring is not slowed down at all during his 30s. I mean, I know he had a few like down years, people were kind of getting concerned, but then he always bounced back. So his scoring is not slowed down, which is doing this at 39 years old is just absolutely impressive. But yeah, I think that's everything I want to talk about today. Just still can't believe this is real after so many years leading up to it. Unreal watching it. It just like I say, it happened so quick in the blink of an eye. That's why I was just trying to remember everything that happened because like it all happened so fast, and once it happened, I wasn't really thinking about like the process before that. I was just so excited celebrating the goal itself. So yeah, we witnessed history yesterday. Amazing, well done by Ovi. Congratulations to him and to his family, teammates, and everything. It's been a gift to get to watch this journey and get to witness this, as a Caps fan too. And yeah, I can't wait to see what's to come, because he's going to play at least one more season. I can't wait to see how many goals he'll get at that point. I mean, he's going to reach 900, and then we'll see how many goals he'll score next season. But yeah, congratulations to Ovi once again, and that's it for today. But thank you for listening to this, to me talk about this amazing moment in history, and I'll see you next week.